Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everything in between, I'm your host Isaac, and I welcome all of you for the final time of OWL Season 4 to the Weekly Wind Down. The weekly show dedicated to all of you who are just a bit too lazy to check the Damn OWL document rather going over the current standings, or as in this case, the final standings in the OWL Season 4 divisions. And as per usual, we are very late. This time I actually got very unlucky with OWL Week 10. And work not lining up, which is why this is late as hell. But I still want to showcase how thrilling and extremely exciting it was to see how the OWL Season 4 wrapped up, which is why, for the final time, I say we take a look at Week 9. Now, I won't spend too much time talking about Week 9, I just want to highlight two things. Swexit and G.G.K are, as of Week 8, locked in for playoffs. Team Charm locked in their playoff spot this week. But it is still not determined if the first seed or the second or third seed. But they have locked in their playoff spot nevertheless. Second thing I want to highlight is the fact that no team is out. And that's quite insane, I have to say. This is the next to the final last week. This is almost the final week and we have no team knocked out, which is incredibly exciting. It was extremely exciting to watch all these battles play out since every single coach win even mattered. Seems if you look at the Diamond Division, you have the Weather Balls and the Swamp Squad. Only one win, one coach win is the differential between them. And obviously, you have Team Pearl with being hyper competitive, with the last team only being one win, one match win behind the first team. So with all this in mind, I say we take a look at Week 10 and see who actually won this. Drumroll please, because these 6 teams are the teams that will competing for the OWL Season 4 Championship. Now, every single game mattered, and not only directly but indirectly, let's say, because you had the Swamp Squad and the Weather Ballers battling it out for this final spot. The Weather Ballers lost to Swexit, and Swamp Squad won versus G.G.K. Had the outcomes been different there, let's say the Swamp Squad would have lost as well as the Weather Ballers, then we would have looked at a different scenario entirely, because then the Weather Ballers would have stood a chance. So it was very, very close till the end, but the Swamp Squad made it out of the group stage. Taking a look at the Pearl Division 2, we have obviously Team Charmed locked in their spot, but actually since they won this week, they locked in the number 1 spot in the Pearl Division, followed up very closely by the Garden Guardians. And very, very, very closely, if you take a look at the 3rd spot, N.D.M locked in that spot with a coach record of 15-15, a match record of 5-5, identical to the ones in Team MMB. The only thing being different was the overall plus-minus differential of the entire team. My god, this was an extremely exciting week to follow, especially as a coach who already made it out. I can't imagine how tense it was for the teams who barely made it into playoffs. So congratulations to all of the teams who made it in. I want to shout out the Weather Ballers and Team MMB for really giving it their all this season. It was close till the end. It was extremely well fought, but in the end, it wasn't enough. So the 6 teams for playoffs are Swexit, G.G.K, Swamp Squad from the Diamond Division, and from the Pearl Division we have Team Charm, Garden Guardians, and Team N.D.M. And before ending this week and this series for the season, I want to highlight 2 things. Firstly, the Garden Guardians, who I have to give a huge shout out to as well, since they had a really, really rough start of the season. I think the first 2 or 3 weeks even, they were 0-3 if I remember correctly. Now in the Week 10, they are the 2nd seed of the division, so a very, very nice comeback from their side. And the last shout out is to the number 1 team. Quite biased, I know, but I was always going to shout out the number 1 team, and it's actually Team Swexit who overtook Team Charm by Week 9, since Team Charm had been the most dominant team of the entire league for about, I say, 6 weeks, I think, 6 or 5 weeks. And I was going to shout them out, but Team Swexit overtook them in the end, ending on a 7-3 match record, 20-10 coach record, and a plus 50 differential. But my bias aside, I want to thank everyone who participated this season. It's been a fantastic owl season, and I couldn't imagine a better coach lineup. So thank you everyone who participated this season, and good luck in the playoffs.